Guys, hello. So have you been having a problem drafting a proper bustier with a well contoured bust cup? you know you don't know how many inches to deduct, how to deduct, where to deduct, how to contour your bustier to give you a proper busty, a very beautiful, well seated busty. If you've been having that challenge, worry no more, because in this class we're going to teach you how to draft a proper bustier, how to apply your side bust darts, okay, how to close it up. Closing up your side bust darts also makes your bustier very beautiful, and every other thing that will come along this class. You're going to learn how to draft an off shoulder. Okay, you're going to learn how to draft an off shoulder bustier, and everything that regards bustier. Okay, as much as we can, we are going to make it very explicit, detailed, and simple. Okay, so without so much ado, let's go. I forgot to include a thumbnail, but we are making a dress. Okay, after this video section, or this drafting section, I'm going to upload the thumbnail so you have an idea of what we are drafting. Okay, but for now we are making a dress, and in order for you to make your dress, you have your upper bodies and your lower bodies put together. Okay, your upper body and your lower body put together to make a dress. Okay, but in today's class we are going to be drafting only the upper bodies, which is the bustier. I have already gone ahead to cut the skirt part because I believe it's something you already know how to do. But peradventure you don't know how to cut a skirt part of a dress, please, we have a lot of detailed tutorial videos here on this channel. Okay, here on this channel, where we have taught on how to make a complete dress. Okay, we have a complete dress. Okay, but for today, let's us just concentrate on making the upper bodies. Okay, so I'll just take this away. This is the lower parts of the dress that I've cut, the skirt part. This is the fabric that we are going to be using for the tutorial. Okay, it's an African print, as you can see. Please make sure you're having your pen and paper, your writing pad. That is a very important aspect of our class. If you have been following this class, you will know that I like it when our students write, because like we always say, the shortest pencil is longer than the longest memory. You can always make reference to your notes. Okay, all right, so if you're just joining the class, do well to give a thumbs up, and do not fail to subscribe, as this channel is a must subscribed to channel. You really need this channel for your growth, for your advancement, for your advancement, your growth, and your level up and everything, because we do everything fashion here. Okay, we don't just limit it to just making videos behind the scene. We bring it live to you, so you see how things are being done. Okay, so do well to give a like to this class. Just give a like. Okay, give a like and give a thumbs up. Let us know where you are watching from. Do not forget to ask a question at any point where you are confused. Okay, we are always here. That is why we are having a live class. So this is the fabric that we are going to be using. Okay, this is the fabric that we are going to be using. All right, so this is our pattern paper. I've already cut it out the size that we want. So the measurements you'll be needing for this busty class, is, let me show you, is your bust point. Your bust point is the measurement between your shoulder to your bust point, the apex of your bust. Okay, your under bust is the measurement from your shoulder to your under bust. Okay, then your half length, which is from your shoulder to the point where the upper bodies will end. You also need your half length circumference, which is of course your waist circumference. But please note, your half length circumference most times is different from your waist circumference. Okay, most times your half length circumference is different from your waist circumference, because your waist circumference is where your skirt sits on, but because you are making a dress, it's different. Okay, this goes like 2 inches upper from your actual waist, so it's different. It also depends on how your body is being structured. Okay, so you need your under bust circumference. Okay, you also need your bust circumference. You need your shoulder, which is of course your shoulder measurements. And what other things do you need? Your armhole. Okay, your armhole, your armhole. Okay, your armhole and all. Okay, a lot of calls are coming in and they are distracting the class. Okay, so let's just go straight into it. Okay, I'll just keep this here. So this is the first pattern paper we are going to be using, so I'll just take this away. Okay, we use our, hope you can see this properly. Let me zoom so that you can see it very well. Okay, let me know if you're having any challenge seeing or hearing a thing. Okay, let me know if you are seeing properly or hearing. Okay, because where I am right now is a little noisy. Some people are having a bit of party and they are playing music and sounding very noisy. Okay, all right, so these are pattern paper. We're just going to use a masking tape to hold it down in place for us so that it doesn't move up and down. Okay, for now. Okay, so the first thing we'll do now is to measure our origin line. But if you are used to this class, you will know that when we are using a fresh pattern paper, okay, we don't get to measure the origin line, because the origin line, I use this as my origin line because it's very straight for now at the moment. Okay, so I don't need to measure any line here. I just use this part as my origin line. So it means that every measurement is going to start from here. Okay, every measurement is going to start from here. All right, so after that, the next measurement is going to be our bust point. Now we already know that it is an off shoulder, and the standard for off shoulder is, or the rule for off shoulder is that you took out some certain inches. Okay, because it's not starting from the shoulder, so you have to deduct some amount of inches, and the standard measurement is between 4 and 5 inches. Okay, the standard measurement is between 4 and 5 inches. All right, how be it, your clients can ask you to make it lower, but don't forget that the standard is between 4 and 5 inches. So if your clients ask you to make it lower, or you want it to be lower if you're making for yourself, you can go down to like 6 inches, 7 inches. It depends on how low you want it to be, and it depends on if you want some part of your cleavages to show and all. So you take all of that into consideration. But for the benefits of this, we are going to be taking out 6 inches. Okay, we are going to be taking out 6 inches. So this means that we are going to be placing our tape roll on 6 inches to get our off shoulder. So after doing that, we are going to be measuring our bust point. Our bust point for this class is 11 inches. Okay, now Like I always say, if you are a committed member of this channel, you will know that we usually add 0.5 to our vertical measurements, okay? So that when we are going to join or turn this part, our bust will jump up to its actual measurements. So when we do our vertical measurement, we often add a 0.5, okay? So this means that since our bust point is 11 inches, we are going to add a 0.5 inch to it to make it 11.5 inches. So right about now, we are going to be marking out 11.5 inches, okay? 11.5 inches. And I will bring the same mark here. You say I am placing my tape rule on 6 inches and then measuring my 11.5 inches. Hope you're seeing me. So the next thing we're going to do after our bust point is to measure our under bust circumference, okay? Under bust circumference. Under bust circumference. Our under bust point. Pardon me. The under bust point is 14 inches, okay? So I am going to add my 0.5, so to make it 14.5 inches like this. And then I will do the same here, 14.5 inches, okay? So after now, the next thing we are going to take is the length of our top, or the length of our half length measurement, okay? Which of course is what we are working with, our half length measurement. So the half length for this project is 17 inches, okay? So this is 17 inches plus 0.5, 17.5. And we go ahead to add 2 inches seam allowance to it, okay? Even though we are still going to cut out some of those allowances, it is better to be safe than to be sorry. So if we added 2 inches to that 17.5, what we are going to have will be 19.5. So we mark that out. Are you understanding what I'm doing? 19.5. Okay? 19.5. So I'll just connect, I'll just connect all of this mark together and then we'll go ahead to label it. Alright? We'll go ahead to label it just like this. So I'll connect these marks together. That is our half length plus 2 inches seam allowance, right? Do well to give a like, do well to give a thumbs up, and do not forget to subscribe if you have not yet. So this is our bust point. We do it as BP. This is our under bust point, right? And then this is our length, which is half length, okay? Half length, right? So we've gotten our vertical measurements, all right? We have gotten our vertical measurements. The next thing we are going to be doing now is to determine our darts, okay? Is to determine our darts. I have taught severally on how to calculate, your darts severally. You can watch several videos on darts. We have it on the channel on how to determine the darts, okay? So the dart for this project is 7 inches, all right? 7 inches. So we are going to be sharing that 7 inches into 2, and that will give us 3.5 inches. Now that 3.5 inches, we are going to be adding 0.5 to it. So when we add 0.5 to it, it will make it a total of 4 inches. So we are going to just mark 4 inches here like this as our nipple to nipple measurements, or it is known as nipple to nipple, distance between busts or bust apart measurements, okay? Which of course is generally known as our dart leg, Okay, so I will connect it like this. All right, good. So the next thing we are going to do after all of this is to start our contouring. Okay, so in no particular order, we can take our back measurements first before doing our contouring, or we can do our contouring and still take our back measurements. Okay, but let me do the contouring first. Okay, now we are going to come to the under busts, okay, and do our contouring. In previous class, even in last week in one of the class we had last week, I have taught on how to get your contour, how to know how many inches to use for your contouring. Okay, but for the benefit of this class, I'm just going to reiterate it again. Okay, now you will come to your bust measurements. Okay, your bust measurements, you will deduct your under bust measurements from your bust measurements. Now our bust measurement is 35 inches. Okay, 35 inches. 35 inches. Our under bust measurement is 31 inches. So we are going to minus 31 from 35. Minus 31. So what we have is 4 inches. Okay. Now, this 4 inches, some people would say, let's divide it by 6. Okay. Now that works if you are working with a bigger bust, because if you divided this by 6, excuse me, if I don't have it, the class will end. They'll keep this. So, like as I was saying, some people will say you should divide this figure you got by 6. But that works if you're working with a big size, because if you divide 4 by 6, you're going to be having 0 minus 0, 0 point something, something, something. So another way you can do this is to divide this 4 by 2. Okay? You divide this 4 by 2. If you divide this 4 by 2, what you're going to have will be 2. Now, we are going to be sharing that 2 like this. Okay? This is how we are going to be sharing that 2. This is how we are going to be sharing that 2. You come to your under bust, we are going to impute 1.5 inches here on this part. I'm going to impute 1.5 inches here. And then I'm going to impute 0.5 inch here. Okay? You can choose to impute 1.25 inches here, and then impute 0.75 inch here. You can choose to share that to however you want it. But please know that however you are sharing it, this part, okay, has to be bigger than this part, because this is where your bust is sitting on. Do you understand? Right. So after doing that, whatever we have decided to do here, we shared it into 2. We what do you call it? We gave this part 1.5, we gave this part 0.5. So whatever we have here, we have to bring it down here. Okay? So we do our 1.5 here, and then also do our 0.5 here. And then we are going to connect all of this with a straight line, like this. We are going to connect it with a straight line. Like this. So let me use the marker to flesh it out. Like this. And then like this. Okay. Now we have to create our contour for our bust. So this is our armhole curves. Okay, we have all our French curves, pattern masters here. Now if you don't have all of this yet, okay, what you should do to avoid pointiness on your bust point is to come down by 1 inch. Okay, on your dart's leg you come down by 1 inch, and then you come up by 1 inch. Okay, that is if you are doing a freehand drafting, you don't have all of these rollers, you have to come down by 1 inch, so that when you do your contouring it will end on that 1 inch instead of ending on your bust point exactly. Do you understand? But because we have our curves, it will eliminate every form of pointiness. As a matter of fact, it won't even get to our bust points, as you can see. So I just nicely place my ruler and I create my curve. Okay, as you can see. And then I turn it the other way and also connect this like this. Can you see? We have successfully eliminated every form of pointiness on our bust points because the ruler did not allow our curve to get to this point. Okay, good. That is if you are using a free hand. If you're using a free hand to connect this curve, please make sure you came down by 1 inch. All right, and also make sure you came up by 1 inch so that you don't have any pointiness around there. It's going to make your outfit look very, very funny. Okay, so we're also going to come to the shoulder. You know, this part now is going to sit on your chest. Okay, it's going to sit on your chest. So we come to this chest line right about now. We are also going to contour it so that it sits perfectly and beautifully well around your chest area. So we have 2 inches from when we did our division, we deducted our bursts from our under bust and did our division, and all we have 2 inches. So that 2 inches now, you will also split it, share it around this point. So like I said earlier, you can choose to do 1 inch here and 1 inch here. You can choose to do 1.25 here and 0.75 here. You can choose to do 1.5 here and 0.5 here. So I won't do, in other tutorials I have done 1 inch here, 1 inch here, but for this tutorial I am going to be doing a 1.25 here and a 0.75 here. Okay, hope you understand. If you do not understand, if there is a point you are missing, please do well to ask your question. Okay, so I'm going to be bringing my 1.25 here like this, and then I'll bring my 0.75 here, and then I'm going to connect. Okay, I'm going to connect it into my dart leg, just like this, right? And then just like this. Okay, as you can see, we have successfully contoured our busty, created a space for the bust to sit in beautifully well. We are also going to close a side dart, therefore or thereby giving it a more curvy effect. Okay, all right. So the next thing we are going to do now is to impute our horizontal measurements. Okay, you know, the measurements from your shoulder down to your bust on the bust is known as your vertical, while the measurements around your bodies is known as your horizontals. So we are done with our verticals. We are now going into our horizontal. So the first thing we do, you know, when we are going into the horizontal is to impute our shoulder measurements. Okay, now the shoulder measurements for this project is I'm coming 16 inches, okay? 16 inches. We are just going to use this shoulder measurements for the purpose of drafting, okay? But when we are going to sew and shape this, we are not going to use the shoulder measurements. We are going to be using, let me show you, okay, if you can see me, right? We are going to be using measurements around this area, okay? Because this is where the off shoulder is going to be sitting on, okay? It's a tube, yeah, sitting here. So we cannot use the shoulder measurements to shape. Do you understand? If we use the shoulder measurement to shape, it's going to be really big around here. It's not going to be fitted. So when we are shaping, we are using this measurement. I call it round the upper chest measurement. Do you understand? But for the benefit of drafting, we use shoulder measurements to draft. And then when we are fitting, we know what parts to use to fit. Okay? All right. So the shoulder measurement for this is 16 inches. You are going to be dividing that by 2. So when you divide by 2, what you are going to have is 8 inches. Okay? 8 inches. So this is our 8 inches. Now you have to take these 2 inches that you deducted into consideration. You have to replace it. Because if you do not replace it, by the time you're done sewing, you are going to be short of fabrics or measurements. It's going to be really small, okay? So I am replacing my 2 inches back. Now somebody will ask, if you know you are going to replace it back, why did you take it off at the first place? I'm sorry, that is how it works. Sometimes we don't have explanations to some of those things, okay? But if it's working, please just go with the flow. Okay, so this now is our new shoulder measurements and not this anymore. All right, good. So what we are going to do on this new shoulder measurement is to impute our armhole circumference. Now our armhole circumference for this project, let's calculate together, is, I have taught how to calculate that. How do you calculate accurate armhole measurements? Is you divide your bust circumference by 6 plus 1.5. That is 1. Or you divide your bust circumference by 4 minus 1.5. Those are the two formulas, okay? Okay, your colleagues here said I'm too fast. Oh my word. Okay, so if I'm too fast for the physical student, it means I'm also fast for you. So I was saying that, right? So get your accurate armhole measurement without doing any guesswork. Okay? Without doing any guesswork is oh, sorry guys. So without doing any guesswork, you have to use either of these formulas that I'm going to be giving to you. The first formula is your bust circumference, the totality of your bust. When you measure your bust, okay, you divide it by 6 and then you add 1.5. That will give you your accurate armhole measurement. Or your bust circumference divide 4 minus 1.5, okay? So we can use any one of both, okay? Now, the bust circumference for this project is 35 inches. 35 inches divide 6. So what we are going to have is 5.333, okay? 5.33, approximately 6 inches. But before we approximate it, let's go ahead to add a 1.5 inch to it. Plus 1.5 inch equal to, it has given us 7.33. So this means it is 7.5 inches. our armhole circumference is 7.5 inches. Now that is not your full armhole, half of your armhole. Okay, we are working with half. 7.5 inches, 7.5 inches. Okay, all right, 7.5 inches. Now let me do the other formula I gave to you so you see. So 35 divide 4 equal to minus 1.5. You see, still the same thing. This gave us 7.25, which is of course also approximately 7.5. The other one gave us 7.3. Okay, so they are both 7.5, 7.5. So anyone works well for you. Okay, all right. Hope you have penned that down. Okay, so now how do I impute that? I'm going to position my tape rule like this on my shoulder measurement, on my shoulder line. Don't forget, we are taking away 6 inches as our off shoulder. So I am going to impute it like this and then look for 7.5 inches. 7.5 inches. Again, we are not going to be using this 7.5 inches. You know why? Because it's a tube. We don't want the underarm to be too open. So what I'm saying right now is also applicable to when you are making a sleeveless outfit. Okay, right? When you're making a sleeveless outfit, this is what you should do so that the armhole for the outfit is not extremely big. You have to minus 1 inch from your armhole measurements. Okay, so we are going to minus 1 inch. So if we minus 1 inch from this 7.5 inches, we are going to be having 6.5 inches. Okay, we are going to be having 6.5 inches, but I'll just add 0.25 to make it, because if we have 6.5 inches, we are taking 6 inches away already. What we left is 0.5, so I'll just make it 0.75. Okay, all right, so right there, and then I'm going to roll the line like this. All these little details are very important. Please do well to take notes of them. They're going to make your design stands out. Okay, so this is what we have, like this, like this. All right, so after doing this, I'm going to connect it with a slight curve. Now, you know, when you're making a proper outfit, this is how you place your armhole curve, okay, to get a proper armhole. But right now, it is not a sleeved outfit. It is a tube. So I'm going to place my curve like this, okay, just like this, and then I'll connect like this. All right, good. Or you can also do it like this, connect down like this, into your armhole. You can also connect it like this into your armhole, from here to here. Okay, but I'm just gonna leave it like this for now. But of course I'm closing it up, so I'll just do the connection. Staining the table. So when I'm going to be cutting, I'm going to be cutting like this instead of like this. Okay, so that is for that. Now this is the front part. I will come down just to create a little neckline for it. I'm gonna come down by 1 inch like this. Okay, and then I'm going to connect. like that. Okay, the marker is staining the table, so I'm being careful. So when we are curting like this, curting like this into the armhole. Okay, so we are done with this part. The next thing is to impute our circumferences. So the bust circumference for this is 35 inches. We've been playing with that. So we're doing 35 inches divide 4. 35 inches divide 4. What do we have? It's 8.75. Okay. So 8.75. We impute it here. Okay. 0.5 here, 0.5 here to join these two panels together. That's 1 inch. Plus 2 inches 2 inches for seam allowance. That is 3 inches. Okay. We'll come to the underbust. The underbust is 31 inches, right? Let me be sure. Underbust is 31 inches. 31 inches divide 4. What we have is 7.75. 7.75. Let's impute it. Okay. 7.75. Now we have 2 inches here. We need to replace it. Okay. We need to replace it. Okay. 0.5 inch here, 0.5 inch here to join these two panels together. That's 1 inch. Plus another 2 inches seam allowance. That is 3 inches. So we just impute it here. Like this. So we come to the waist, which of course is the half length. What we have on the waist is 29.5 inches. So let's just say 30 inches. So 30 inches divide 4, what we have, 7.5, okay? So the same addition we did here, replace it by this, add a 0.5, and everything is what we are going to do here. So I'll just do the calculation. 7.5, 9.5, 10.5. Oh. All right. So we'll just go ahead and connect like this, okay? So at this point, guys, we are done drafting this pattern. What is left is to create our side bust darts. So the side bust dart, how do you ascertain how many inches? How do you ascertain how many inches you should use for your side bust darts? Is the difference between your half length and your back half length. I have taught this over time. Okay. So the half length for this is 17. The back half length, let me see. So this means that when you are taking your measurement, you don't want to take your back half length. The back half length is 16 inches. Okay. So 17 minus 16 is 1 inch. So that's what we are going to have here. So we are just going to connect it into the spot like this. Right? Just like that. So we are going to be taking these parts off. We are taking these parts off. They are not needed. So this side bust that we took is also going to affect your back panel drafting. So please note that. Okay. So we are going to go ahead right now to cut this. And then we go drafting the back panel.
How many inches is side bust?
1 inch, but I did 1.25.
So the bust points.
Yes. If not for the fact that I need you guys to understand, I can just use this front panel to draft my back panel. It's easier for me that way without going through all the process all over again. but with you right now I can't do that. Please watch the way I'm cutting, it's very important. Do well to subscribe if you have not. Do well to follow us on all our social media handles, on Facebook at Fashion Boss, on Instagram at Fashion Boss. We have WhatsApp tailoring group if you're interested in joining the group to share ideas and to learn from fellow soulmates. Do well to send a message to that effect. I'm going to add you up to the group. We also have a group on Facebook. You can send a message and we'll add you up to all of the platforms, okay? So now we are going to close the side bust darts. Alright, we are going to close it up. We are going to transfer it, open it up and close it. Okay. So I'll just split it open here like this, but I will not cut through. Okay, I'll apply my gum. Do you have any question? Please do well to ask before we go into drafting the back panel. Although the back panel isn't going to take so much time like the front did. Okay. So this is how to close. I've taught this over and over. Over and over and over and over. Over and over. And I will keep teaching it, okay? Because it's our day-to-day way of working. So, guys, this is our tube busties, okay? So we'll just keep this aside and draft the back panel ASAP. So this is the pattern for the back panel. The first thing we are going to do is to take away 2 inches for our zippers. Okay, 2 inches for our zippers. 2 inches for our zippers like this. Our origin line remains the same. So the next thing we are going to impute now is our vertical measurement, our bust point. We are not going to be doing under bust here because there is no bust at the back. That reminds me, this back panel is going to be having an eyelet and lacing. You know the way a corset usually is at the back. That is the pattern for this back. So it's not going to be having zippers. Okay, we are going to be having eyelets. We are going to be deducting some inches so that we can snatch, use the eyelets and the lacing to snatch, you know, the bust and the tummy area. So stay tuned and watch very well. This is a corset pattern drafting we are about to do right about now. The difference is that we are not going to be using boning, okay? So I have taken 2 inches for my zippers. The next thing is to also come up by 6 inches like we did for the front, okay? Like we did for the front, you know, it's an off shoulder. And then we are going to do our bust point, which is 11.5. We are not going to do under bust here, okay? We are going to be going straight to the half length line, okay? The half length line. Now the half length line for the front panel was 17.5 inches, okay? But in order for our outfit to be balanced and our panel to be balanced, our side bust that we took away from here, we have to minus it from this back length. Otherwise, the angles won't be balanced. Okay. Now we minus 1.25 inches away from. We use 1.25 inches as our bust point, as our side bust dart. Now that 1.25 inches, we are going to minus it from our back length. Okay. So if we minus 1.25 inches from 17.5, what are we going to have? Where's the calculator? 17.5 minus 1.25. 25. 17.5 minus 1.25. So what we have is 16.25. So 16.25 is what we are going to be using as our back length measurements. I have taught this over and over. And then we'll go ahead to add 2 inches as our 2 inches. Okay, that will be 18.25. 18.25. Okay, 18.25 is our total measurement. So connect this with a row. 18.25. Let me confirm this. 18.25. This is very necessary because if you do not do this, as you can see, it is equal. Do you see? It is equal. If you don't do this, if you don't do this, if you don't minus whatever you use as your bust darts, your side bust darts, away from your back length, your pattern or your outfit is not going to be equal. Don't forget, how we got the side bust dart is that we minus the front half length from the back half length. So please follow every step that I'm giving you. Follow every step that I'm giving you is very important. So this is our bust point. Like I said, we don't need under bust here because there is no under bust at the back. Okay. There's no under bust at the back. All right. So at this point, we are going to impute our dart measurement. What we use for the front is 4 inches, right? 4 inches. We are going to bring the 4 inches here and here. And then we are going to connect this. Okay, we are going to connect this. So the next thing we are going to do at the back, we are going to be using a normal dart. Okay, we are going to be using a normal dart. So we'll come to the waist and then we'll minus 0.5 here and 0.5 here. Okay, 0.5 and 0.5, and then we'll connect it. So So I measure 9 inches. This is where our dart is going to get to. I connect it like this. Please ask your question. Ask your question. Okay. And then I connect it. So this is our dart.
What's this?
This is where the back dart usually starts from. Okay, 9 inches. For the front dart, if you are doing a normal dart on the front panel, is 1 inch after your bust point. For the back dart, it starts 9 inches. That's 9
Standard.
inches. Yes. It starts at 9 inches. Like 1 inch is 1 inch after your chest line, depending on, you know, the height of the person. Okay. So another thing we are going to do now is to impute our circumferences. Okay. We are almost done with this. Is to impute our circumferences. So our bust measurement is 35 inches divide 4. What we have 8.75. Okay. 8.75. Then you calculate whatever you have here. You measure it. You add your 0.5, 0.5 plus your regular 2 inches measurement. So I will just use 4 inches. Okay. And then for the waist is what is the waist measurement? Okay, so we use 30 inches. Oh, sorry. 30 divide 4, 7.5 plus this 1 inch, 8.5, 9.5, 11.5. Okay. So you just basically go ahead to add all your inches. I've taught you how to calculate the things you are adding. Just like that. Okay. And then for the neckline, you know, for the neckline, so I impute my back measurement of 8 inches. Okay. 8 inches plus the armhole we took was 0.75. I mark it that way, and then I connect it like this. Okay. I'm going to bring my front panel, and then I'm going to come down here by 1 inch. Okay. To create a bit of style at the back. I'm going to connect it like this. Like that. I'm going to bring this and position it like this. Okay, so that we can use it to get the back. So that it will be, yep. Okay, so I'll just mark whatever I have here. I'll trace it out like this. So that's how we are going to be cutting the back, like this. Okay, now we are going to deduct 2 inches from here. 2 inches from here. Okay, I told you that we are going to be snatching the back by 2 inches. So we are deducting 2 inches from here. Like that. So we are taking all of this out and also taking all of this out. Like that. Okay. Please, when you are shaping for your back, the back measurement was 30 inches. We have taken 22 inches away. It means you are using 28 inches to shape and not 30 inches anymore. If you use 30 inches to shape, it means you did not deduct anything. It will still be normal. But if you use 28 inches to shape, it means you have deducted 2 inches for snatching. And you are going to use your rope, okay, to snatch it properly. Hope you understand that. The difference is that we are not adding boning to it. And because we are not also using zipper, we cannot deduct anything from this waistline. So if we're using zipper, we would have deducted like 0.75 away from here to eliminate bulge. But this time we are not using zipper. Okay? Hope you understand. Do you have any question? Any question? You understand? You understand? Don't worry, you understand with time. Any question? Please drop your question on the comments. I will attend to them, okay? I will attend to all of them, all of them. I will attend to all of them. So this is what our back bodies look like, oh guys.
So this for the highlights, we're taking it out.
Yes, we're taking this out. We're taking this out. So let me cut it so that you see what it looks like. The more reason why you need to be coming to class, guys, because new pattern, new method every day. So I'll just add a 0.5 inch to this part, okay, so that when we are cutting on fabrics, I don't forget. So instead of cutting exactly on this line, I will just, okay, 0.5 like that. So now we are also supposed to take this away, okay? We're also supposed to take this away. This is our dart, but I'm not going to be taking it away now. When I place it on my fabric, I cut it alongside my fabric and then cut it out on my fabric. I don't want to split it open, okay? So if you want us to do the sewing tutorial online, please let us know. But for now, this is our birdies, and I hope you learned something from this class. One or two things. You may not have gotten everything in total because sometimes it's difficult grasping all of those things in just one class. But consistency, if you keep saying this, okay, it will just stick. You can come back to the class after now and keep watching so that you understand some of the things you're unable to get now because of one distraction or another. You might just get it, in the next watch. When you watch again, just keep watching, okay, guys?
So this is the center front.
Yes, so this is the center front and this is the side front. For the back, this is the center back and this is the side back, okay? So let us know if you want us to do the sewing tutorial online, guys. Hope you subscribed. Hope you gave a thumbs up. I'm going to see you guys in the next class. For now, stay well.
If I was not strong.